Never, always, maybe, name.
Hip-hop, don't stop. 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 Hip-hop, don't stop.
Yes, y'all, and welcome to today's episode of Hip Hop.
And it don't stop.
I am your host, Never Always Maybe name. We're going to be getting into today's topic really soon. Materialism. But first, y'all know what we got to do. We got to show some love to the hip hop and it don't stop beauty of the week.
Hip hop and it don't stop. Beauty of the week. Hip hop and it don't stop. Beauty of the week. Hip hop and it don't stop. Beauty of the week. Hip hop and it don't stop. Beauty of the week.
Okay, y'all, that was this week's hip hop and it don't stop beauty of the week. Y'all ready to get into this topic? Let's go. Now, today's topic, materialism. Okay, I want to start by taking it back. Taking it way back to when I was a little kid. And I first started to notice nice things. All right? You know, as a kid, we used to play that game. That's my car. Whenever we saw a nice car go by, we'll be like, ooh, that's my car. Oh, no, that's my car. Ooh, no, that's my car. That's my car. All right? So, you know, I guess like in NYC, you know, we're ingrained to like nice things, right? You know, as I got older, I started to, you know, go OT, that's out of town. And, you know, it's like people weren't like really up on fashion, wearing jewelry and, you know, having nice things or whatever. That wasn't really, I guess, important to people. But in NYC, it's like, if you're not fresh, you know, it could change how your day goes. You could be like the topic of discussion. As soon as you walk out your door, you will be like the butt of every joke. So it's like being fresh just became uniform, you know, and it's like we never really looked into like investments and stocks and owning property and different things like that. It was like you could even be flat broke without a dime in your pocket. If you had on some crispy kicks, you can even have on a plain white tee with some jeans. You got a crispy cut. You know, it's like you was good. But as you get older, you know, you start to notice more. You know, you start to notice that you want more because you're evolving, you know, and it's like the object in the ghetto at that time. It was like, well, that's how I was raised. It was always like the object in the ghetto is to not look poor. You could actually be poor, but as long as you didn't look poor, you was good. So I had a lot of friends and, you know, we all got older and guys started doing things like, you know, robbing people, you know, committing crimes, different kind of crimes. And it was like all in pursuit of these nice things. You know, people would risk their freedom, you know? And it's like, without giving the actual definition of the word materialism, it kind of gives me the feel like materialism is a bad thing. I don't know if it's a bad thing. It might be. You know, I don't get too deep into it. Basically, when I do this, I'm giving y'all like my perspective of things. So I feel like if you want nice things, that's okay. What's not okay is going outside of your boundaries or living beyond your means to have these materials. Okay? Like as far as like the female perspective, they'll get their hair and nails done and some won't pay their rent. Things like that. A dude will knock somebody in the head for their sneakers or something like that. Speaking back in the days. Now it's like a person will even take somebody's life for a necklace, for jewelry. When it comes to materialism, I like to put things in their appropriate perspective. And it's like sometimes you just have to wait. I'll tell myself, yeah, I want nice things. I want to have this. I want to have that. I see the rappers, they got this. The basketball players, they got this and all that. But I'm sure it was a time when they had nothing. And it takes hard work. It's not cool to idolize someone to the level because of what they have that you would want to harm somebody else. So that's the flaw in materialism. Or like a female using a guy for his money. I feel like when it comes to wanting the finer things in life, it's about timing. It's about patience. It's about waiting your turn. Because materialism will have you stepping outside of yourself, who you are, and what you really represent. Risking my morals, my integrity, my values, to have these material items in reality are never worth it. And in the end, once you obtain these different things, it's like, what were you really chasing? Because at the end of it, I'm sure you will not be fulfilled. I think it's more about the journey to the things that you want. It's about paying the price. It's about making the necessary sacrifices, like giving up hanging out to study for a test at school or something like that. It's about working your job and saving up, because to have it like overnight real quick like that, it's like when things come quick, they go quicker from what I see. So when it comes to having a materialistic mindset, it gives you a sense of emptiness once you have these different things, because of the path you chose to gain these material items. Just imagine if you worked for years and then you have a home. You own a home. You have all these different memories of the sleepless nights, the overtime hours you had to work, and you have something that you can take pride in because you worked hard for it. If you just, get whatever it is that you're after in a negative way, I'm sure it will make you paranoid. You'll have to look over your shoulder. You won't have a sense of security. It's like, just take your time, is what I would tell myself. Take your time. Your time is coming. It's nice to see people shining and having jewelry and having nice cars and having the women and everything. But everything has its place. Everything has its place. And material items shouldn't be put above your personal values. If you set a standard for yourself, live by it. Because that's your character. That's what you represent yourself as. It'll be nice to have all of these different things, but your method is what makes the difference. The method you use to obtain these things. So I don't know if being materialistic is good or bad. Because you can be materialistic and wait your turn, and that's good. Or you can be materialistic and maybe harm someone to get what you want, and that's no good. So I guess I'll end it by saying, I don't know if materialism is good or bad. But my advice to myself, I'll say, I'm just waiting my turn. Because when it's my time to shine, oh man, I'm going to shine so bright. I never robbed nobody in my life. I ain't never hit nobody in their head. I never stole. I ain't tricked nobody out of their stuff. I never used a woman to get what I want. It's like when it's my time, I could really sit in it like, yeah, I earned this. And I'll know what's meant for me will be mine. And I think I can end it right there. That's this week's episode of Hip Hop and It Don't Stop. Materialism. And now for the name tag. Y'all know what a name tag is. Never always maybe, Thoughts and guidance. And today's name tag is, at least let me stop you right there. I don't accept the least. You ever had somebody, you ask them to do something or whatever the situation is, and they say, well, at least I'm going to stop you right there because I don't accept the least. I want the most. I want the best you can do. If I ask you to do something or for something, no, don't give me at least, no. There probably is someone who will accept the least. I am not one of those people. At least let me stop you right there. I don't accept the least. And that is today's name tag. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of this week's episode of Hip Hop and It Don't Stop. Materialism. Tune in next week where we will discuss law enforcement. And remember, this is why we do what we do. And when we do what we do it for hip hop.
And it don't stop.
Peace.
Bronx got the money, Queens get the money, Brooklyn take the money, Manhattan make the money, Staten Being getting money. Is that dose? You don't say. Wardrobe killer, she don't play. Escada, Prada, Balenciaga, joggers, Hermes, 20 G's, A drop in the bucket, honey please. In the club, two-stepping. Bad girl, VIP section. Roped off, no room for you. Only cool kids, nah, nah, boo-boo. You getting money? We got money. You don't make it in your sleep, then it's not money. Bottles, let's celebrate. Elevate, never hate. Bentleys, Ferraris, you can't come to my party, sorry. You getting money, clap. Now all the ladies clap. Now all the fellas clap. Now everybody clap. You getting money, clap. Now all the ladies clap. Now all the fellas clap. Now everybody. Louis V, Gucci, got me drowning in the groupie. Diamond, no vanilla ice. I'm just ice, baby. Bloody shoes, Louis. She look like a movie. Triple X rated, perfect 10. You got it, girl? Work it then. She got expensive taste. Where she wanna eat? An expensive place. Dior, Chanel, Gianni, Versace, plain Jane, Rolex, AP. Watch me. No milk, leche, Menderoy champagne. I'm the Hefe. DeLeon, tequila shot. You ain't got no paper. What you got? Nothing. You getting money, clap. Now all the ladies clap. Now all the fellas clap. Now everybody clap. You getting money, clap. Now all the ladies clap. Now all the fellas clap. Now everybody. East Coast get the money. West Coast get the money. Now Midwest get the money. Down South got the money. Worldwide get the money. Yeah. Yeah. Never always maybe, huh? Nah, me name. About to go get me a couple dollars. Go get you a couple dollars. Ain't nothing wrong with having a couple dollars.